Let's get right into it. Number 1. The sudden existential crisis. You're lying in bed, the lights are off, and you're finally alone with your thoughts. Sounds peaceful, right? Except suddenly your brain decides that now is the perfect time to question the meaning of your entire existence. Why are you here? What's the point of socks? What if we're all just a video game run by intergalactic toddlers? You could be counting sheep, but your frontal cortex is busy spinning a full-blown philosophical drama. Psychologists call this existential rumination, which is a fancy way of saying thinking way too hard about things you can't control at the worst possible time. It's not your fault. When the external noise fades, the internal volume cranks up, and your brain loves filling the silence with questions that are both unsolvable and frankly unnecessary. The punchline, all this deep thinking will somehow end with you doom-scrolling memes until 2 a.m. Because nothing says I've conquered my anxiety about the universe like watching a capybara eat an orange. Number 2. Phantom Noises Parade. You know that moment when you're alone and every single house noise suddenly sounds like the soundtrack to a horror movie. The fridge hums, pipes, gurgle a mysterious creak from somewhere upstairs, and suddenly you're planning your escape route from the ghost who clearly wants your leftover pizza. This is your ancient lizard brain still convinced you're sleeping in a cave, and every snap of a twig means saber-toothed doom. Neurologists call it hypervigilance, a survival feature where your brain gets extra sensitive to potential threats when you're alone and vulnerable. Of course, the biggest danger in your apartment is the existential dust bunny under your bed, but your nervous system doesn't care. Basically, your hearing is cranked to paranoid squirrel mode until you fall asleep, or remember you left a window open for the pizza ghost. Number 3. The imaginary interview. There you are staring at the ceiling when suddenly your brain starts scripting the world's most important conversation. Maybe you're rehearsing how you'd finally ask for that raise, or you're nailing a TED talk about why pineapple on pizza is a human right. Sometimes you even argue with someone you haven't seen in 3 years, and in these late-night showdowns, you always win. This is called self-talk, and psychologists actually think it's healthy, sort of like emotional dress rehearsal. But leave it to your brain to pick 1 Saro AM as the perfect slot for the imaginary Olympics of overthinking. The best part, no matter how perfectly you deliver your lines in your head, real life will still surprise you with plot twists and an unscripted sneeze. Number 4. Time-traveling regret machine. It's 11:47 p.m. You're just about to drift off, and suddenly, without warning, your brain cues up every single embarrassing thing you've ever done. Remember that time you called your teacher mom, or when you tripped on nothing in front of a room full of people? Yeah, your brain does too, and it's got a director's cut ready. This isn't just your memory being rude, it's called counterfactual thinking. The brain likes to review what-ifs and alternate realities, often for no good reason except to keep you humble. In theory, this helps you learn from mistakes. In practice, it's just an involuntary highlight reel of cringe. If only your brain would throw in a laugh track or some popcorn, it might be more entertaining. Number 5. The sudden urge to Google. Symptoms. Lying in the dark. Your body does something completely normal. A twitch, a hiccup, a fleeting pain in your left big toe. Instantly, your brain transforms you into Dr. Frankenstein with a Wi-Fi connection. You reach for your phone, open Google, and 5 minutes later, you're 90% convinced you have a disease so rare it doesn't even have a name, just an ominous code. This is cyberchondria, the modern miracle where your brain tries to self-diagnose instead of just letting you sleep. Statistically, your symptoms are probably caused by bad posture and too much caffeine, but try telling that to the part of your brain convinced you're the subject of the next medical mystery series. Ironically, the only thing that's really sick is your sleep schedule. Number 6. The Home Intruder Olympics. You're dozing off, and suddenly your brain helpfully reminds you of every door and window in your entire living space. Did you lock the back door? What about the window in the bathroom, the one you never open? Cue the home security games. You mentally retrace your steps, perform imaginary lock checks, and if the anxiety's at Olympic level, you actually get up to double check. Spoiler, it was locked the whole time. This is pure amygdala overdrive, your brain's threat detector, trying to justify its existence in a world where the biggest recent crime was your neighbor's dog stealing a sock. Statistically, you're safer than you think, but your brain is auditioning for a part in every true crime podcast just in case. Number 7. Weird creative surges. Somehow midnight is the official hour of genius. You spent the entire day struggling to write an email, but now at 1:13 a.m., your brain decides to invent a new language or compose the next great indie song about, say, existential dread and pizza ghosts. Psychologists call this the default mode network lighting up. When the outside world finally quiets down, your internal world goes into overdrive. It's why all your best ideas arrive just as you're about to pass out ideas you're sure you'll remember in the morning, but spoiler alert, you absolutely won't. If you've ever tried to decipher your 2 a.m. notes, banana chair rocket, you know your brain's creative process is equal parts brilliance and total nonsense. Number 8. The identity spiral. Finally alone at night, your brain gets philosophical again, but this time it's not about the universe, it's about you. Are you living your best life? Did you choose the right career? Why did you say you too to the waiter who said, "Enjoy your meal"? The identity spiral is your brain's way of performing a full audit on your existence, usually right before a big meeting, or worse, a family reunion. Psychologists say this is part of self-reflection, a normal process that helps you grow, but at night it mostly feels like you're being interrogated by your own internal drama committee. The real joke. By the time you figure it out, it's morning, and all you want is coffee and maybe some amnesia. Number 9. Fake conversations with pets, plants, and appliances. So it's 2:24 a.m. and you're wide awake for absolutely no reason. Your brain, desperate for interaction, starts narrating life to your pet, your favorite houseplant, or if things are really off the rails, your refrigerator. Maybe you're explaining cryptocurrency to your goldfish. Maybe you're apologizing to your pothos for forgetting to water it. Maybe you're having a serious heart-to-heart with the microwave about why it won't stop beeping at you. This is called anthropomorphism, and it's what happens when your mind is starved for social input and starts handing out personalities to anything that doesn't leave the room. It's harmless mostly, unless your blender starts talking back. Negative 10. Dramatic replays of embarrassing moments. Starring you. Weirdly, your brain doesn't stop at one round of cringeworthy flashbacks. No, it wants you to relive them with improved special effects. Cue the slow motion trip at the wedding, the awkward wave at someone who wasn't waving at you, or the moment you called your boss dad. This mental theater is not just random psychologists say, it's your brain running error-checking protocols, replaying moments it wishes you'd handled differently. It's a learning mechanism gone rogue, and it turns your memory into a full-blown Netflix miniseries, How Not to Be a Person, the Home Edition. At least you're the main character, right? Negative 11. Sudden overwhelm by tiny tasks. Remember that sock on the floor you meant to pick up last week, or the text message you've been about to answer for 3 days. Congratulations, they're back headlining your brain's 3 a.m. productivity concert. The paradox of being alone at night is that your brain can't let anything go, especially not the trivial stuff. Suddenly answering that email feels like an existential quest. This phenomenon is intrusive thought stacking, and it's your mind's way of organizing chaos by reminding you of everything all at once right when you should be asleep. Spoiler, you will not in fact get up and do any of it. Negative 12. The existential weather forecast. Let's get weird. Sometimes your brain decides to narrate your emotions like a bored weather reporter. Today's forecast, 40% chance of existential dread with scattered showers of nostalgia and a slight breeze of regret. This is emotional awareness gone comedic. You become hyper-conscious of your mood, your thoughts, even the way your feet feel under the blanket. Are you lonely or just tired, happy or just caffeinated? Your brain has no answers, but it loves to speculate, especially at the witching hour. In the end, the only thing you're truly certain of is that you'll be very tired tomorrow. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.